So your video got hit with a copyright strike. What to do? I first posted on Facebook over 12 years ago now, and those were just kind of commentary rants, things that I just wanted to say. And then I kind of stopped after my daughter was born, but I've been back for about almost 2 years now. And in that time, I've uploaded 120 reaction and commentary videos. And in that time, I've discovered something. In order to find copywritten material in videos that are uploaded, YouTube apparently employs a gang of feral gnomes. Now this can mean that you'll get blocked, it'll get taken down, you won't be able to monetize it, any number of things. Now you can fight this, you can appeal the decision, but it's not a guarantee that it's actually going to work, even if you are in the right, even if you've done everything that you think you should have done. But since I started uploading, I've actually discovered there's a couple of things that minimize the chance that a video will get flagged. Now, none of these are hard, set in stone things that if you do, you will never get a copyright notice or anything like that, because there's no way to avoid them. Like, it's gonna happen. But these are just a few things that, at least from my experience, seem to minimize the amount of notices that you get. And to be perfectly honest with you, like, even doing all this stuff, I still get a couple of them, and some of them just plain don't make sense. I had to upload a reaction to the Matrix Resurrection 12 times, even doing all this before it was accepted. And I still have not been able to edit my reactions for Possessor, Scream, and Krampus sufficiently for YouTube to say, okay, you can keep them up. But since I noticed these little trends I'm about to show you right now, my number of copyright notices has just gone down to almost nothing. Most of my videos over the last 6 or 8 months never get any copyright notice at all. Now, if you insist on actually using video clips and music and things like that in your projects, well, there's a couple of things that I'm gonna go over right now. Now, this is geared primarily for people who do reviews and reactions. I don't know what to tell you if you want to do let's play videos or anything like that, or parody videos or remixes and things like that, because I don't do those. There's basically 3 things you got to keep an eye on as you're editing your video to make sure that you're not going to get a copyright notice. And the very first one is music. Any music playing, especially if it's copyright music or a popular song or something like that, is going to trip the algorithm. I found one of the best ways to avoid this is to do one thing as soon as I start editing, and that is to lower the volume on the video that I'm reacting to. This not only makes it easier for the audience to hear me and hear what I'm saying, but it also makes it harder for YouTube to pick up on the audio, apparently, I think. Then if I'm talking, if there's something that I'm saying, I'll just straight up mute the audio in the movie if it's not required. This not only makes it harder for YouTube to pick up the audio, but now my audience can actually hear me better. And if I'm reacting to something and sound is not part of it, I'll just mute the clip. Take a look at this very short video clip from a recent reaction, for example. It reminds me a lot of a New Orleans funeral, you know, the jazz band's playing. So, bottom line, use as little of the original audio as possible. Second thing to watch out for, clip length. I have nothing to base this number on except just something that I noticed several months ago. But if I keep my clips under 10 seconds, it tends to not get flagged. Every time one of my videos has gotten flagged for copyright violation, it's been over a clip that's over 10 or 15 seconds. So I just make it a point now, if I'm gonna use a clip for a reaction, keep it under 10 seconds. Now, to go along with what I said about music, if I'm talking and there's no need to show the video anymore, I'll just put my face front and center, and that covers the video. That works too.
I got differential equations class in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, no. Peter tried this too with Stark. It did not work. Now, if I need to include a clip that's longer than 10 seconds, I tend to actually edit the clip a little bit so that I take out any pauses or any part of the clip that's not absolutely essential, and I just keep the important parts that I'm reacting to. Kind of like I did here for this clip from Wakanda Forever.
Soldiers did not call him general or king. They called him Kukulkan, the serpent god. What? Do you think because we are living in the mountains, we do not have access to books?
There's only about a second or a second and a half that I took out of M'Baku talking there, but it broke the clip up, and that's enough to not get tripped. So much like your audio, use as little of the video as possible. Now, this third one is not something that I actively do, but it is something that I've seen a lot of other reactors do, and it seems to work out pretty well for them. Alter the video in some way. Now, for most of them, this just means using a lower resolution video, putting a watermark, flipping the image, something so that it's not the exact video as the original source. Kind of going along with that though, something I actually do is alter the movie as I'm looking at it. And what I mean by that is I'll leave out anything that is not absolutely essential to what I want to say for the film. There are movies where I've taken out entire subplots as part of my reaction because, well, I want to keep the more important parts. Because if you do get flagged for copyright, one of the things that you can argue is that the movie that you are putting on YouTube, or the version that you're putting on YouTube, is not an adequate substitute for the original film. And that's really what these three things are about, making sure that the footage that you're using cannot be used as a substitute for the original film. So if the audio is lowered or muted, if you have your face covering part of the screen like I do, or if you have clips broken up and entire scenes missing and parts of the movie just not there, then yes, you can make the argument that your video is not an adequate substitute for the original film, and therefore the studio will not lose money. The couple of times that I've had to fight one of these things in the last year or so, before I started picking up on these things, that was my argument. And I started realizing, well, yeah, that's why I'm doing all these things. These things seem to be working. So basically, bottom line, use as little of the original film as possible. Audio, video, or a combination of the two if it's appropriate. And make sure that all those clips you use are also substantially shorter than the full-length movie. If you're reviewing or reacting to a movie that's an hour and a half, and all your clips together come out to 45 minutes or an hour, you're gonna have a very hard time explaining that, oh no, this is not the whole movie, it's a small chunk of it. That's never gonna fly. And once again, none of this is 100% effective. These are just some things that I've noticed over the last maybe year or so. Obviously I had a lot more of these things when I first started, and I noticed some of the stuff that I'm doing seems to be working. So I just wanted to impart that on any reviewers or reactors who might be having issues or might want to start a channel like this. So thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, go ahead and go to Patreon, support the channel there. Social media links at the bottom. Thank you very much. I will see you later.